it has functions and all. So because of this, you can choose any programming language, and you can solve your real-time problems. So these C, Python, Java are like real-time programming languages that you use in backend. But when it comes to the browser that you are using, so for a browser, if you say what is a browser-related programming language, then you will say it as JavaScript. So what happens is, with the help of JavaScript, you can actually perform operations like mathematical operations. You can validate data. You can change the text based on the user and all. So whatever interactive features, like whatever you wanted to interact, those all interactive features you can actually build using JavaScript. And JavaScript is directly written in HTML, or if you want, you can also use separate files, and in the separate files also you can write JavaScript code. So in this modern days, in the present generation, this JavaScript has been evolved so much that almost every application that is there on the web and your mobile phone and all is actually using JavaScript in one or other forms. So some of the examples where you can see JavaScript is used is form validation. So form validation is nothing but like checking whether your name is appropriate, like it has only characters. When you enter the mobile number, it is only made up of numbers and no extra characters or some minimum length and all. And second example is like live chat. So whenever you chat with a person online, like you get the data instantly, and you receive and get the data instantly. All this happens because of JavaScript. And dynamic content updates. So in real time, uh, in some websites, whenever you open, you will be able to see your name as soon as you log in. You will be able to find out today's date and time as soon as you log in. You can find out your location and all. So whatever contents are there that are dynamically coming are also because of JavaScript. So real-time data visualization. So it helps you in viewing different data visualization things like graphs, pie charts and all. And one of the common application for JavaScript is online gaming, where you interact with the other person or with the images on the game. And collaborative editing. So nowadays, on a single document, whenever you are online, it is not just that you only can edit. If you give the access to some other person, even they can edit the same document. So because of JavaScript, multiple people can actually sit on the same document and keep editing it. And real-time notifications. In your mobile, you get notifications. Even if you are on any browser, depending upon the apps that you have signed into the browser, you will get the real-time notifications. So these notifications are also coming because of JavaScript. So today we will look into the labs which provide you the basic understanding of JavaScript and the basic elements that are there in JavaScript. So the first thing is, in the first experiment, you are required to write a program to calculate the area of a circle. So generally, JavaScript is also written inside the HTML document. Or if you want, you can create a separate file with the extension of .js. So here in the first example, this is the HTML starting tag, and you have a header tag and meta tag, title tag, and here your starting body. So whenever you are indicating or writing the code in JavaScript, you have to mention them in the tag script. So if you start using the tag script, that indicates that it is a JavaScript code. So uh, in JavaScript, whenever you declare any variables, in other programming languages, what happens is whenever you declare variables, you will be like, if it is an integer, int a equals to 10. If it is a string, string name equals to hello. Like that you will be writing. So here what happens is, whenever you are declaring variables, so you are trying to indicate what data type it is, right? This is how you will see in some of the programming languages. But coming to JavaScript, you need not worry about declaring what data type the variable is. So in general, you all know variables are nothing but the words that hold the value. So the general syntax is a variable will have variable name, and you will use equal to symbol, and here you will assign a value to it. So these are called as variables, which are responsible for holding the values or data that your code needs. So in JavaScript, you can directly write a variable by using the keyword var. So var, we are assigning radius equals to 10. So we can also declare variables by using let. So there is a difference between var and let. So if you are writing some block of code like this, so if you write a block like this, and if you have uh, written let x equals to 10, and here if there is another block outside it, so what happens is, suppose if here I am trying to use now generally in programming language, block means a certain piece of code that is enclosed in some part. So now if you look at here, if you see in the, you have a block, okay? So if block, and inside if block, you again have another if block. So now what is happening is, now I have used let and radius equals to 10. I have assigned it here. So whenever I use let, the scope of this variable radius is only within this block. So I can use here radius equals to 10 plus 1 and all. So I can, so the scope of this variable radius is only within this block. If I come out of this block and if I try to use radius here, I will get an error. So the page will cannot recognize the radius. So let means if you want a variable scope to be just inside that block, then you will use the keyword let. Suppose if I change it to var, so once I changed this variable to var, its scope is not only just in this block, but also within the whole block. So inside the whole block, I can access this variable radius because I have used var. So if you want that variable's scope to be more, like you wanted to access it within that function, uh, then you will be using var. And if you wanted to restrict that it has to be used only here, it cannot be accessed outside, then you can use it as let. So these are the two different ways how you actually define variables in JavaScript. So according to that lab, so you have to define variables by using let, var, and constant is also another keyword, which means that value doesn't change. And you have in JavaScript, everything is like the document related, like every element in HTML can be accessed by using document keyword. Document is the super class of all the things. So document dot write is a function which will help you to display the output. So generally this document dot write is used during testing purposes only. It is just used for testing purposes. But in real time, if you are working on JavaScript and you wanted to display the data, you will use some other functions like document dot inner HTML like that. But this document write will be mostly used during testing purpose only. So here you are printing the output. This calculation will be performed and the output will be displayed. And BR is another tag. So if you wanted to, BR is a HTML tag. By displaying this HTML tag, what happens is in the next line the output will be there. So var radius, again they are calculating the area of the circle and again they are printing. So if you look at the code, so now the area is calculated and it is being displayed. So because we are using the BR tag, so the output is getting displayed in the next line. So if you look into the second experiment, so write a JavaScript code to display the details of a movie, such as movie name, starring language. Initialize the variables with appropriate types and use template regress wherever necessary. So the same thing. So whenever we are writing in JavaScript, you have to use this script tag. So now if you look here, let movie. So in the let you are assigning a variable and here you are making a list. So name of the movie, rating, language, and starring and rating. So if you look at these variables here, for none of the variables, you are declaring the data type. So in JavaScript, the data type will automatically be taken care of the backend. So taken care of by the programming language itself. So you just have to use the variables and assign appropriate value to it. So as mentioned, JavaScript is the browser programming language. So for any programming language, you can have conditions, you can have loops. So for JavaScript also, you can have loop. So for key and movie, so in this list, so document dot write key, what is the key, and document dot write movie or key, document write br. So what happens is this thing iterates. So for key and movie means this key will be name, starring, language, rating. So here you are printing the key name And movie of key means movie of name. So triple R will be printing. So name triple R, rating 5, language Telugu, rating 9.8. So these details will be displayed. So this is how in JavaScript you can iterate and print the elements. You can have a dictionary mapping key and value pairs here. So if we run it, so we are getting the output. So for key and movie means first name will come. So key will be name and is2 will be displayed. And movie of key means movie of name. The value assigned is RRR. So RRR will be printed and BR is nothing but your HTML break tag. So because of that, the data is getting displayed in the next line. So this is how you can use loops. You can have different variables and you can create different variables in JavaScript and process them. So the next experiment that you have is related to calculating operations. So how do you calculate the things on JavaScript? How do you perform addition, subtraction, basic operations on variables and display the data to the users? So generally, as you see, have seen already, script is for JavaScript. Now you are taking a variable x and prompt is nothing but if you wanted to take input from the user, you will use the keyword prompt and this text will be displayed to the users. Enter number of tickets. So once the user types like 5, in real time, whenever we type any data on the browser or anything, the data that comes in is always a string. Whether you type it as a number, whether you type any special characters, text or anything, your phone number, age, anything you type is always a string. So here prompt is going to consider the number that you are going to give it as a string. And now because we have logic that we want to perform operations on numbers, so we are typecasting it. So the string number will actually change it to number integer and then get assigned to x. So suppose if you type 5, then x will be 5. So here you are performing those mathematical calculations that was asked in the question. So the total number of tickets that we wanted to book is nothing but 5. So we are here. And in the next line, we wanted to calculate the cost of the tickets. So 150 is the rate of each ticket. So 150 into number of tickets. So you have a discount. So you will perform the discount operation and print the final cost. So because we have used prompt, so it is asking us the number of tickets. And if I click on OK, so the 4 is the variable x here. So the 4 is the variable x here and it is performing all these operations. So document.write is with the help of document.write, you are able to see this output. The total number of tickets, cost of 4 tickets and display, discount and total discount. So the third experiment is further more on how to use different operations in JavaScript. So here you are initializing I equals to 0. You have y. Y here is the list of elements. So you have 3, 5, 7, 9. So as you have seen, prompt is nothing but to take the input from the user. So here your X is generally a string, and in the next line, you are actually converting that string number to an integer. So if X is less than 2, so you are performing this operation. So if is nothing but condition checking. So JavaScript is a programming language of browser. So you have general things that are there for any programming language. If followed by the condition and followed by the parenthesis. So if that condition is true, then only whatever line is written inside that block gets executed. If you wanted to check multiple conditions, then you have nested else if. So here if you see, the next condition is else if. So if this condition is false, then it will come here and it checks here. If this condition is true, then this block gets executed, or else you will come to the final else block. And every script, like every HTML tag has the opening and closing. Even JavaScript has this opening and closing tag. So if we run this, so it's asking us to enter the number of tickets seen and the cost of the tickets, the 3 tickets that we booked is like this. So if we run again, so you have some conditions. So if number of tickets is more, you will get the discount thing getting applied. So this is the last experiment that we have. So again, here we are trying to use loops also. In the last one, we have seen conditions, this condition, how it is written in JavaScript. So you can even write loops and all in also in the JavaScript. So they are asking you the number of tickets and you are converting it into a number, and you have initialized few variables, and here you are trying to write a for loop. So for I less than x, I plus plus, and I is also having this for loop is also having opening and closing parenthesis. So when this for loop gets executed, this block gets executed how many ever times x was being mentioned. So that many times we keep booking the tickets from the customers, and we ask them to enter those customer details that for each ticket that we are trying to book. So once you come out of this for loop, then for X tickets you need to pay, you are calculating the total cost here. So you it's not only for, you have while loop also, which is used based on condition based. For means for is called as a definite loop because whenever you will use for loops only when you know how many times you exactly wanted the loop to run. But while loop you will be using when you don't know how many times it is going to run, but based on the condition it is going to stop. So while loop is more based on the condition, and for loop is when you definitely know how many times you are going to iterate. So because I have asked for 3 tickets, you are getting 3 customer details and how much discount for each ticket it is going to be. And at last, you are printing the total cost. So these 3 lines are getting iterated one after the another only because of the for loop that you have used. So this is about the third lab, JavaScript. So let me know if you have any questions. Uh, if you don't have any questions, we can end the call. Thank you all.